here under the underwriting of shares and debentures, we see the partial underwriting by single underwriter. Partial underwriting, that means partial, not the whole shares were taken for the underwriter. It is the partial underwriting, right? If you say the company has issued 5,000 shares, the 4,000 only underwritten by the underwriter, right? So we will see through the question, right? Let's move into the question. Okay. So the when PQR limited, right? PQR limited issued 60,000 shares, right? 60,000 shares at the rate of 10 rupees each. 60,000 shares, 60,000 shares at the rate of 10 rupees each, right? 75% of issue was underwritten by John. 75% of which underwritten by John, right? John. Applications for received 42,000 shares were received. On application 42,000 shares received. Okay. Received in all by the company. Determine the liability of John. Right? So gross liability is gross liability of the company of the underwriter is 60,000, right? The company also will see the company also, no, not needed, no? For 60,000 into 75 percentage. This is the gross liability. How much? 60,000 into 75% is 45,000 shares. 45,000, right? 45,000 the gross liability. The application received, right? Application received. Received is 42,000. 42,000, right? We have received 42,000 application, right? 42,000 application. So how much is apportioned to the underwriter? Here they have not marked application, were not given. In this question they have not given the marked application. If they have given the marked application, it is easy for us to calculate the marked application for ascertain the John's portion. Here again we had to John's portion is, right? John's portion is how much? We have to multiply by 60,000, 42,000 divided by 100 into 75%, right? That is how much? That is 31,500. That is 31,500. So if we deduct this 31,500, because in 42,000 shares we have received, right? Out of 42,000 we have to take 75%, right? then we will get 31,500. Then 500 and 1, 32, 32. No, no, 500 and 4 minus 1 is 3. 13,500 is the net liability. Net liability of underwriter writer John. John. Because they have not given the marked application, so it is difficult to ascertain how much the out of 42,000 how much is relevant to the John. But we have taken the GL ratio, gross liability ratio we have taken, and you have to put the assumption that the for receipt application calculated for John is based on the gross liability ratio. You had to put the assumption there, right? So this is the gross liability of the person. This is a question number A of this, right? Next we will say, so please take down this, right? I am going to raise it. You please take down this, right? Right. So here I am raising this one, right? Right. Right. By more than more than one underwriter, right? More than one underwriter, right? Number of shares, right? Number of shares, right? Next one is partial underwriting by more than one underwriter, right? Partial underwriting more than one underwriter. In that, we will say delimited issued 20,000 shares of 10 rupees. 20,000 shares at the rate of 20 rupees, right? And these shares were underwritten as follows: A 10,000, B 6,000, right? A 10,000, B 6,000. The public applied for 17,000 shares, which included marked applications as follows: A 3,000 shares, B 2,000 shares. Determine the obligation of the underwriters, right? So A and B gross liability. A, B and company. Okay. Gross liability is A is 3000, A is 10,000 and 6,000. 10,000, 6,000, and out of 20, 16, if 16 goes, 4,000. 4,000 for the company, gross liability. Right? 20,000. This is a issued share capital is 20,000. Out of issuing share capital of 20,000, 10,000 given to underwriter B, A, and 6,000 given to underwriter B. Then remaining is the 4,000. It is given by the company. Right? So, right. These shares were underwritten as follows: 10,000, 6,000. The public applied for 17,000 shares. Public applied for 17,000 shares. 17,000 shares. Right? 17,000 shares, which include marked applications as 3,000 A, 3,000 and B, 2,000 shares. Right? Marked application A, 3,000 and B, 2,000. Right? Less, we can say less marked application. Less marked application. Application. How much? B, A, 3,000. A, A, 3,000. B, 2,000. 2,000. Right? No applicable. So here we will get 7,000 here. Here we will get 4,000. This one also 4,000. Balance. Right? Balance. Then we have to deduct the unmarked application. Unmarked application. Unmarked application, actually you have to application, you have to calculate how much. Calculation of unmarked application. Unmarked application. Right? So total application received. Total application received was 17,000. 17,000. Right? Less marked application. Marked application. That is A, that is A and B. A 3000, B 2000. Then 5000. 5000. You have to deduct this. Then 12,000 is the unmarked application. Unmarked application. Right. This is an unmarked application. So 12,000 is the unmarked application. So we will put 12,000 to unmarked application for the company. Then if you deduct 4,000 upon 12, 8,000 is the surplus. Surplus. Right? Surplus. Right? Transfer of again minus transfer for of surplus of company to other underwriters. Okay, underwriters. 8,000 we have to transfer plus 8,000 we have to transfer based on what? Based on GL, gross liability ratio. Based on gross liability ratio, right? Based on that is 8,000 into 10 is to 6. 10 is to 6. 10 is to 10 is to 6, right? 10 is to 6, right? So you calculate the surplus calculation of of surplus for underwriters, right? Calculation of unmarked application. This is calculation of right calculation of surplus for underwriters. For A underwriter writer A is equal to 8,000 into 10 divided by 16, right? 16, that is equal to how much? 10 divided by 3,000, sorry, 5,000, right? 5,000, right? Underwriter B equal to 8,000 into 6 divided by 16, it is equal to 3,000, right? 5,000 is 3,000, 5,000 and 3,000, right? So Hmm. Net liability for the underwriters. Net liability is this. Then this is 2000 minus 5000 is 2000, 4000 minus 3000 is 1000, isn't it? Right? 2000 and 1000 is the net liability for the A and B. Right? So we have seen partial underwriting by more than one underwriter. Right? Okay. I think you would have got it. And please go through this again and again. Then you will get a good picture of it. And I hope I am going to conclude this session. No, you will get more and more picture on this. And next one, in the next session, next question, we are going to discuss firm underwriting. In the next question, in the next session or next question, we are going to discuss is firm underwriting. Okay, so I am going to conclude this class. So we hope to meet you in next session. Okay, thank you.